Welcome to the USCA American Rules National Championship Croquet Tournament. This is championship flight doubles and it's block play. This is Leo McBride at a handicap of -2.5, leading off playing blue. Tournament is being held in October of 2021 at the National Croquet Center in West Palm Beach. We're on court 6 facing southwest. Matt Griffith playing red and a handicap of -2 comes in with his standard opening maneuver. Your tournament director is Rich Curtis. And your capable videographer, again, is Brian Hovis. Macey White is playing black at a handicap of -2.5. And partnering with Matt Griffith is Rick Sheely at a handicap of -2. Matt's out there helping strategize about the out game. Looks like Matt Griffith has taken over the place of Mick Mijas as the major proponent of the out game as an opening in American Rules Croquet. I'll have to ask Matt whether he thinks that's a compliment or not. All of these guys have national championships to their name. Rick's are in the seniors division where he's won the singles title twice. Standard deadness board with additional clip position. Now we have 2 games of cat and mouse going on. One at hoop 2 with blue and yellow in the game, and one at hoop 1 with red and black out of the game. When 2 balls are playing chicken like this with successive wirings across the hoop, the one on the playing side has a definite advantage because it gets a continuation shot if it makes the hoop. Now, if yellow were for 1 back, it would be more of an even fight.
I'm filming the ugliest 4 guys in the tournament. They paid me.
Once Leo puts the mallet down, he holds his position for 7 to 13 seconds. So if later in the video it looks like he's speeding up, it's just because I've edited out most of that hold time.
Start the clock. 45 seconds.
That's right. Want me to start your clock? Measure. All right. Start here.
Go ahead. Yeah. Wait, right? Is there a grace period or not? Maybe it's right. Honey, look, it's at 2 o'clock. What? So is there like a grace period to go late, or do you just get going right away?
You just taping this for yourself?
I'm gonna sit off in the wrist.
Looks like we have 3 Solomon grip players and 1 standard grip. I think Macey's adopted a more upright style than the last time I played him, which was a long time ago. Whatever the change, at a handicap of -2.5, it's serving him well. He's actually dominated 9-wicket croquet lately with 2 singles and 3 doubles titles in the 9-wicket nationals in the last 3 years.
No, I'm from Kentucky.
Kentucky? I know the accent. Did you ever know Archie Birchfield?
Ordinarily, he probably wouldn't rush this pioneer to his next hoop but 1, but I think he's afraid of getting hampered by hoop 2 if he just taps yellow. And this is the disadvantage of doing that unless you have a really close pioneer at your next hoop. The takeoff has to be pretty precise to get the right rush to the hoop you're going for.
The other game, I forget the name of it.
Rope.
Yeah. We played indoors one time and missed the hoop. The ball would come back just a flying at you.
Really?
Because they were cemented into the floor. It was so much fun.
He was expecting more.
Right shoe there, Gary. Yes. Yeah, you were a mile away.
Brian Hovis, your cameraman, is I think a 2.5 now. He won the Midwest Regional in September. And here's a good example of the advantage of having a good croquet player on the camera. He knows what's going to happen. Well, he didn't know that, but he knew what Sheila was trying to accomplish. And he expected more. Balls in and out of the game are dead on each other. So, in order to avoid a dead ball fault, the striker of a ball out of the game can mark and lift a ball that's in the game, in this case yellow, if it's in the way of the shot, and vice versa, which is why a ball in the game cannot claim a wire or a block on a ball that's not in the game, because there's always the option of marking and lifting it.
Shot.
Red's all set to come in through hoop one. So yellow goes over to provide a pioneer at hoop two, and black will still be there when red gets there on his break. And anticipating said break, Leo's going to put blue as far behind the break as he can. And incidentally, in corner one, black will be able to give him a rush to hoop four without too much trouble. So much for that 3-ball break. Just a glancing blow on the hoop. Setting up a rush to the attack to corner 1 for red. And their response is either a wide join, so they'll attack and at least get 3-ball dead, or put blue as far away as possible to make a croquet out more difficult. And even though blue's as far away from hoop 2 as you can get, they're going to try a croquet out. It could still work, but that makes it more difficult. With that miss, the break off the croquet out is in place, although not easy. Unfortunately, on this court, that can happen. And technically, this is misplaced position because that ball went out a good foot to the west of where he's marking it in. But it kind of doesn't matter.
Just heads up, this ball's coming right at you.
Okay.
So the break that they had intended for yellow when red did the croquet out is now being run by blue. He put yellow to the east of hoop 5 so he can rush it over and pick up black off the boundary. And this comes up all the time, especially in American rules. How far does he want to rush yellow? The closer he gets to the boundary ball, the easier it is to do the takeoff and pick up the boundary ball. But the harder it is then to reincorporate yellow back into the break afterwards. Is that distance a couple yards off the boundary? Is it 5 or 6 yards so that you challenge your takeoff more? It's kind of personal preference, I guess. There was a time when Leo McBride was the best player in all of North America. And it's shots like that that testify to that. That link is to a lovely little video on YouTube from 2008 from the Westmore Club in Nantucket, where Wayne Davies put on some kind of invitational AC tournament. Leo had just won the national championship in golf croquet by himself and the AC doubles championship with Doug Grimsley. He was at the top of his game, and it's testified to by Rich Lamb and others in that video. If that link doesn't work, just type in croquet tournament. It includes comments from such luminaries as Leo, Rich Lamb, Jeff Sue, Wayne Davies, Ron Lloyd, and David Bent. Now he's going to come back and pick up yellow, and you can see how if yellow were any closer to the boundary, he might have trouble getting behind it. Some would have preferred to leave yellow more on the line between 3 and 4, for instance, when he did that attack on black on the boundary before he made 6. And as I'm sure you've noticed, he's playing so well that I'm having trouble finding places to suggest alternative lines of play. Leo's complete list of national championships, American national championships, includes AC in 96, 99, and 03, American rules in 06, golf croquet in 08, and then AC doubles in 08 with Doug Grimsley. Leo's playing blue, which means yellow's the spent ball, and he wants the spent ball is the pioneer at Penalt, or at least I do, to make it easier to set up the unhittable leave and not get last dead on partner. There's at least 2 ways to make yellow the pioneer at Penalt. One is to send it as the pioneer to 3 back, where it naturally becomes the pioneer at the next hoop but 1. You can't do that, so the other way is to leave yellow as a pivot ball. And wanting yellow as a pivot ball would have some people do a roll shot here and put yellow closer to the peg. But Leo's prioritizing getting the rush on red to 2 back. So he's doing a takeoff instead, beautifully. And yellow functions perfectly well where it is, because all he has to do is come out to the right of 2 back, send red to 4 back, with a shot that puts him right behind yellow.
there somewhere.
Honestly, here I would have done a roll shot to put yellow more out in the middle. But Leo likes to use takeoffs for precision, knowing he can get back to yellow without any problem. And now we come to the logic behind using the spent ball yellow as a pioneer at Penalt. Basically, two ideas. He's going to send yellow to black's hoop because black is going to need yellow to get a break going. And he also wants yellow at black's hoop because it will serve as an escape ball and allow him to get his rover ball clean and thus not be last dead on partner, which he's going to bring down there and try to put on the line after he makes rover. he has to do this from Pinot because he needs to be able to make Rover to get clean to be able to hit yellow again. The other way, of course, to do all that, which Matthew seems to prefer, is to drop the partner ball off early enough that you can put it on the line and then never have to hit it again, so that you don't get last dead on partner that way. Positioning black as partner ball more or less on the line between hoop 4 where he's going to end up and corner 2 where he wants to put red, the danger ball. That'll let him rush red to corner 2 and then have a nice rush on black back to its hoop. Leo's making an active choice here to send the danger ball as far away as possible. The other option would be to send it more toward hoop 3 so that it's easier to get wired behind hoop 4. Probably mostly personal preference, but that decision could be influenced by how close to the boundary you think you're going to be able to put blue and black, assuming you'll wire yellow behind hoop 4. Setting the unhittable leave the way Leo has done it prioritizes getting the rover ball clean off the spent ball so that it's not last dead on partner. It does mean, though, that you're probably not going to be able to put your partner right on the boundary. It's just too risky. Unless, of course, like Leo, you've done this 1,000 times. And for the AC audience, in this game, the rover ball can get clean going through any hoop. And since the ball he hit before he did that was yellow, he's now last dead on yellow, designated by the half ball on the deadness board. meaning that he'll be clean on yellow as soon as he roquets either red or black in the subsequent turn. So in the break that red laid for yellow, blue went from 4 to the peg, set the unhittable leave, and now red, which cleared its deadness on yellow because blue went through one back, doesn't even want to shoot into this, because if he missed or knocked one of these balls out, he would have given Macey a 4-ball break instead of a 3-ball break with black.
Yes, especially if you're going to go.
Because I hit the ball I was aiming at and put it. I think yellow's less than a ball diameter beyond the hoop, so if black stuffs this hoop but contacts yellow in that same stroke, it's a dead ball fault, and black goes back to where it is right now. So he contacted yellow, but he made the hoop. So it's not a dead ball fault, and he gets a continuation stroke. And for the umpteenth time, here's why the one-back pioneer goes 2 or 3 yards south of one back. When you're forced to do this with a stop shot from around hoop 6, it allows you to put a nice pioneer at 2 back and still have an easy rush on your one-back pioneer. And you'll remember that red is over in corner 3, so he's running a 3-ball break till he gets to 4 back. Obviously, he was planning to win it on that turn, but he got 4 hoops and he's only dead on partner. Rick would love to run this with yellow so that he could peg out their rover ball at the end of the break. But things are so spread out, he's going to have to set something for red instead. So black will be the hoop 2 pioneer, sort of. He didn't mean to hit that hoop with yellow, but he can still make this work. I think all Leo's doing is moving the clip from the top of the peg extension to the side so that it won't fall off if he happens to hit the peg. I'm sure he wasn't trying to peg out. He was trying to hit black instead. Leo certainly wasn't counting on that early Christmas present. Okay, blue was last dead on yellow. Now that he's roqueted red, he's clean on yellow and only dead on red. He's putting red past its hoop where it has no kind of hoop shot and is incidentally wired from black, which just set up at 2 back. Red can see yellow up in corner 4, I believe. And now Leo just puts the rover ball up on the south boundary where it can join up with black after it makes 2 back and it can play the rover game. Which means roquet partner, go break up the opponent, get clean on any hoop, leaving you last dead on an opponent, and join back up with partner, or you can do it all over again on a subsequent turn. And to keep that from being a perpetual motion machine, the rover ball can only hit each of the other balls once in any given turn.
He's going to shoot now, and then by the time we stop and start again, it'll be 2 seconds. Nice shot, Matt.
Nice shot indeed. Yellow is for hoop 4 and only live on red.
I'll make it that. That shot, too. It's a big class.
You say you won?
Leo.
Oh yeah.
I'm scared that if I gave him $3, I could get in. We were real careful, and he never ever. I really just looked.
That's not a fault. It was just weird. Now blue could roquet black, do a croquet out, putting black next to yellow and rolling over on the other side of 3-back, maybe wired from red. Nah, that's not going to happen. They're up by 14 hoops. So he'll set up to advance black more safely, putting blue on the boundary next to black's hoop. Because that shot was so good, yellow now has a dolly rush to blue's position. The yellow doesn't really want to attack blue by itself because blue's the danger ball. He can't set a lead for red, and he'll have tremendous difficulty getting to hoop 6 off blue. What he wanted to do is put red next to black. Any place else on the lawn that black had gone would have made it vulnerable to a croquet out by yellow putting red out of bounds next to black and going to pioneer position at hoop 2. Now yellow's going to attack, but the wide join of blue and black means that most likely yellow's going to get 3-ball dead, setting this lead for red, and that is the purpose of a wide join in this situation. Last time he approached the ball on this boundary, blue went to peg off of it. They're not in last turns yet, but they're close enough that Leo wants to peg out. If the shot on yellow is less than 40% longer than the shot on the peg, he should shoot at yellow. It looks to me like it's more like 50 or 60%. So shooting at the peg is the right thing to do, making sure that if you miss, you get out of bounds.
Stop the clock so you mark that in, please.
So all Matt has to do is get a break going, go to peg, peel yellow through 6 to get clean, leaving yellow down by 2 with a chance to win. Don't laugh. We've all seen crazier things happen. And Matt's got a lot of pent-up energy here. He spent 20 minutes in the out game, and now with less than a minute on the clock, he's making his first approach to hoop 2. Pretty frustrating scenario for a guy who's a -2 handicap and has a couple of 9-wicket national championships under his belt. He just called timeout with 22 seconds left. And if the player doesn't call time in, then the clock is restarted as soon as his mallet hits the striker ball. But what could have been?
Right here? Yeah.
Time was called somewhere in here so that blue ended up being first ball in last turn. And now it's pretty much out of reach, even if Robert Fulford were playing red and could 2-ball his way around and get a bunch of peels in.
It's okay.
That second hoop, my God. slowed us down so
Where it
much?
got it, didn't count anyway.
You got a lot of patience doing that. You got a lot of patience sitting here.
So with yellow, 3-ball dead, it's over.
I couldn't.
Leo McBride plays like the Leo of old. Macey White provides capable backup, and they beat Matt Griffith and Rick Shealy 21-7. Both teams qualifying for the knockout, but Leo and Macey had to drop out. Rick and Matt then lost in the first round of both the winners and losers brackets in the double elimination knockout.